Hey guys, it's Kevin and Frank from Cruising with Wheels.
Hi.
And today, yep, you guessed it, it's another episode of our Q&A.
So why don't we jump right into it with our first question.
All right, first up, who is it?
It comes from Claire Lampus, and she says, Alaska cruising question.
Oh, we've done that.
Do people actually use the outdoor pools on the Alaska cruises? Is it too cold to go swimming? What about the water slides and other outside activities? I have only cruised in the Caribbean where it is just about always warm. Well, this is a hard question to answer, right? Because it depends on what type of year,
Time of year
you're cruising in Alaska. I know when we went, there were a few people that were.
There were, and it was
chilly.
We were there June 2nd to the 9th. I thought it was chilly. We went through the pool area to get from one side to the other, but there were like maybe 5 people out there. I saw a woman in her bikini on a lounge chair.
She was crazy.
I was, in pants and a shirt, my fleece. I was freezing just crossing over, and I thought...
And we come from a cold weather climate.
We do. Upstate New York, we're used to ice storms and snowstorms, and I was rolling by, and I was like, oh, but I really wanted to say, oh, Lord, what a nut!
So
Is she freezing?
I would say that it depends on what time of the year you're going. We were in June, right? Was it June? Yeah, we were in the beginning of June.
Did I just say that?
Yeah, but we were in the beginning of June, and if you're in like August, maybe, I think, end of May, in August it should be warm. Scotty Singer, he says it's warm. So
I know.
It was cold when we were there.
It surely was. Are the pools heated?
Some of them are heated, but not on the ship we were on.
I'm sure whoever was out there was probably in the hot tub.
Mm-hmm. That sounds great.
That's a given.
So what's the next question?
Well, the next one is from Kim Sloan. Has anyone done the Hawaiian cruise on the Pride of America? Seems way expensive given how little cruising you do. Is it worth it, and do you recommend it?
Well, we have not done the Pride of America, and we have not done a cruise to Hawaii. But if I was going to do a cruise in Hawaii, it would be on the Pride of America. The reasoning behind that is you're probably looking at the fact that it's cruising 7 days. Is what I do all the research, so that's why I'm answering this. So she's probably looking at the fact that the Pride of America is a 7-day cruise in Hawaii. Some of the other cruises in Hawaii are like 14 or 15 days. The reason behind that is they leave from California and you're cruising 5 days to get to Hawaii and then 5 days back. And then the remainder you're in Hawaii. I think it's worth it.
I think we probably can say that Hawaii is on our bucket list.
It is.
Our friends, they did a Hawaiian cruise, and I remember them saying that at the ports of Hawaii, they said, everything in Hawaii is so expensive. That's all I remember them saying.
Well, that's the other thing that I want you to consider. One of the reasons why the cost is a little more is because all of your ports are in the United States, so the port fees and taxes are higher. And in addition to that, NCL is the only fleet that has a ship that's registered in the United States, and that would be the Pride of America.
There you go.
Which means everyone on that ship is earning a living wage, is earning minimum wage. And so if it makes you feel better about the price, you're supporting a good thing, a good cause. Because frankly, we would love to see more fleets have ships in the registered in the United States, and we would like to see the workers, the crew,
Yeah.
earning
More money.
More money.
For the hard work and the long hours that they do. But getting into the Hawaiian ports, I remember them saying that just going in and out of the stores and stuff and just buying simple things was way so expensive.
Well, you're on an island.
Yeah, you're kind of captive.
The next question.
You can't run to a multitude of your nearest Walmarts.
The next question comes from Casey. How would I say that?
Pansavicius.
Pansavicius.
I always say that, try to say that name right, Casey's.
And the question is, what kind of deals can you get booking your next cruise while on a cruise?
Oh, wow, yeah.
Well, that's going to depend on the cruise line.
There you go.
Some cruise lines offer phenomenal deals if you book your cruise while sailing on a current cruise, but those cruise lines are going to most likely pin you down to a particular sailing date. And very often the deposit is non-refundable on that, and you can switch the date, but you lose the deposit. Some cruise lines offer you, what is that called? Cruise Next. So you purchase a future cruise credit that can be used any time. That's what we prefer.
Right, we prefer that.
We like to do our research.
Yeah.
And
So
we don't want to be rushed.
the cruise lines might be offering a super, super great deal to book while you're on board because, you know, they want to lock in the money, the cruise, the cabin, and you might think, wow, do it now. And if that's how you roll, then that's great. We don't roll that way.
I don't roll that way.
No.
I just would rather wait.
Yeah.
I would rather wait. I don't want to be pressured.
Yeah. There's
So-
too much involved for us.
And I want you to consider something. You're sitting down with that cruise, the cruise director. Well, I don't know if it's cruise director. The person who's in charge of booking those cruises.
Right.
You're sitting with them for an hour sometimes, an hour and a half. Do you really want to waste an hour and a half, 2
Yeah.
hours of your vacation booking your next vacation? Because I don't.
And some people might. They'll
And
be
some
like, you
people
know what?
might.
Let's book the next one. We're going to get the deal, and then we don't have to worry about it. When we get home, let them do all the work, and it might be a good 1 hour investment. But remember, they're there to sell you their cruise line and their ships. I mean, maybe you want to try someone else when you get home. So, I don't know.
What's the next one?
Well, the next one is from Dave Ridings. And Dave says, for those that tip their cabin steward for excellent service, any comments on whether cash is preferred versus something local from where you live, like t-shirt, candy, or whatever?
Wow.
Let us dispel this right now. But
As somebody who works in a career, his whole career, who gets tips, I'm going to tell you right now, cash is king. Cash is king. People don't, it might be lovely for you to bring a little something from
Right.
your hometown, but I got to tell you, they don't want your crap. They want your money. Okay? I want to be nice about it, but there's no way to
they
say it
can't
nicely.
send that t-shirt or candy bar home to their family in the Philippines and have them, you convert that into food to eat. You know, give them cash.
Can't pay your rent with a keychain or a magnet
Right.
or a t-shirt.
I know some people are like, oh, you know, I gave my cabin steward a lovely this from home and they were so happy. Well, yeah, I'm sure they were, because any gift that they get, they're going to be happy. But what did you think they were going to say to you? What the hell am I going to do with this?
Yeah,
You know?
really. I mean, and again, we don't mean to be rude.
Right.
We don't mean to tell anybody what to do.
Right, what to do, what to give, but
If you want to give a lovely gift from your home, that's fine, from your hometown. I just feel like these people are from, most of the crew members are from third world countries. They're supporting most of their family.
Right.
We should, if you want to extend a gift, it should be
cash.
cash.
And
Cash is king.
and you know that the crew members are 2 to a cabin, 4 to a cabin.
Yeah, where are they going to put it?
You can't. You can imagine everybody. Here's a T-shirt. Here's a this. Here's a that. Their cabins will be loaded up with junk. Okay, and you think they're going to have that all packed up and shipped home?
I don't think so.
No, no. Give them cash. You know, if you're really serious about tipping, then really seriously give them something they can use, and that's money.
Yep, I would, and I've said before, I appreciate everything that my customers give me, but sometimes around the holidays, I'll get a little candle, and I say, gee, this candle that they probably bought for $5, they could have given me the $5.
Right.
And if
another
those
bottle,
20 people that bought me the $5 candle had given me $5 a piece, I would have had $100.
I know. And oh Lord, if you come home with another bottle of wine, I'm just going to lose it. Okay, stop.
On to the next one. Denise Martinez.
Yes.
Is looking for recommendations. So this was on our Facebook page. And she wrote, so I have a question. I'm flying out the day before my cruise. Good girl.
Excellent.
I'm flying into Fort Lauderdale. Would it be best to get a hotel in Fort Lauderdale or in Miami? Does anyone know of any shuttles or any other transportation for a group of 6 that can get us there the day of my cruise? Thanks in advance. Well, I guess our first question to you would be, does your cruise leave from Miami or does your cruise leave from Fort Lauderdale?
Right.
Because you didn't specify that.
And I'm guessing that it's probably like in our case. Our getaway cruise in November is leaving out of Miami.
It was a phenomenal deal.
Right. We got a great price from JetBlue Airlines flying into Fort Lauderdale, as opposed to more expensive flying into Miami. Well, the question comes up, what hotel are we staying at? Are we staying at a Fort Lauderdale hotel? Or are we staying at a Miami? Well,
sometimes, see, I break it down into 2 categories. I start with price first. And if the price factor, if it was a better price to stay in Fort Lauderdale the night, I would stay in Fort Lauderdale. If it was a better price, I would stay in Miami. If they were comparable or not too far off, then my choice is Miami.
Right.
And we ultimately chose Miami.
Right, because I want to be in the city where the ship is at port leaving. I don't want to have to worry about being in Fort Lauderdale and having transportation to Miami the morning of trying to get on the ship.
But I got to tell you that sometimes there's multitudes of ships leaving from Miami, and there's no ships leaving from Fort Lauderdale, so the pricing would be really, really great in Fort Lauderdale.
Right.
If that were the case for this trip, and we could have gotten a $50 a night in Fort Lauderdale, we would be staying in Fort Lauderdale.
There would be a multitude of hotels to choose from because there were less ships pulling out of Fort Lauderdale. The price would be better, no crowds, easier transportation, as opposed to the city loaded up with everyone leaving.
Now, as far as your question is concerned for shuttles, there are shuttles at various different shuttle services in Miami and in Fort Lauderdale that can get you to the cruise. Right. Remember, if your cruise is leaving from Miami and you're staying in Fort Lauderdale, the cost of that shuttle is going to be significantly more. What I would say is consider staying in Miami if your ship is leaving from Miami, and hiring a private car service for your 6. You can get vans and then split it amongst the 6.
Absolutely,
I know David and Darlene on our cruise are going to be sharing our private car service, and we've split it 4-way or 2 ways.
2 couples.
Two couples. And it was probably about the same price as what it would cost us for a taxi, but we didn't have to worry about getting it. We didn't have to worry about, are we going to get screwed on the price? We didn't have to worry about what tip are we supposed to give.
Now, for the large transport buses, would they normally, let's say from Fort Lauderdale to Miami, maybe she's staying at a hotel in Fort Lauderdale. Do most of these large transport buses leave from, like, let's say the Fort Lauderdale airport?
Well, it depends. See, if they're going to book a transfer bus directly through whichever cruise line that they're using, then they would have to go back to the airport. So if that were the case, I would stay in Fort Lauderdale, right? And stay at a hotel that has a shuttle service back and forth to the Fort Lauderdale airport.
Free shuttle service.
Free shuttle service.
Right.
And then have them take me back to the airport in the morning,
Yeah.
get on the shuttle bus, and then go. But there are also, in Florida, there are other shuttle services. We've never used them. I'm sure people will comment below as to these shuttle services that they've used. But there are shuttle services that stop at hotels. So when you book your hotel, you ask them. Or you ask the hotel if they have a private shuttle service that takes you to the airport. Because we've stayed at a few. I know our favorite in Miami, which was unfortunately destroyed in the
a hurricane a year or so ago. Yeah,
they're rebuilding. They have their own private shuttle that will take you to the port, and there's it was like a nominal fee. It was like $9 or $10 a person for that service.
So a lot of factors involved.
A lot of factors, a lot of things to think about. So I'm sorry we couldn't give you a definitive.
There's never a definitive answer because everyone's preference
is different
in terms of convenience versus money versus how many people are going.
See, for me, 6 people, I would just book ground link. I book a van, divide it by 6. Everybody chips in. Done.
Easy peasy.
Easy peasy. Tips included.
Yeah.
Taxes included. Tolls are included.
Yeah.
Price it out.
And we prepay, or we make the reservation at home before we leave, and they don't charge your credit card until the day of the service.
Just a few days before.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, who's next? This is from Sarah Thompson. Anyone have experience with expedited embarkation, debarkation due to special needs? We have requested this for our cruise next month to help our child who has autism. Well, yes, special needs, right here.
Well, with regards to autism, we have a series, Traveling with Autism, and I believe there's 4 videos in the series. I did that with Nicole from Magical Storybook Travel. She has a son with autism and speech apraxia, which sounds like I'm having a speech problem right now. The thing that I would ask you is, who are you booked with? Because Royal Caribbean deals really, really well with children that have autism. You will be expedited regardless, which with regards to any of the cruise lines. But I know that Royal has started to have quiet rooms for children. Specifically set aside for children with autism or people with autism in their ports. But what you need to do is fill out that special needs form and contact the special needs department and explain to them what level of autism your child has and what his needs are going to be and his requirements. But in generality,
special needs for people in scooters and wheelchairs. When we get to the port, to
normally
the terminal,
you'd be lumped with them, right?
Yeah, we get expedited really fast through check-in, and then we go to the area where they have all the special needs guests, and the wheelchair assist from the port gets us onto the cruise ship. And the same thing when we for disembarkation on the last day. We go to a special needs area, which we get the notice go to deck such and such, so-and-so is in charge, and then usually we sign up on the clipboard because first come, first serve, and then they assign you a wheelchair assist.
And dependent on what cruise line they're going on, if they don't have mobility issues,
Right.
they can do self-assist,
Right.
which is you take your luggage with you and you get off. And you'll be the first people to leave the ship. But going back to embarkation day, I suggest that they don't follow the rules. And if you're assigned if you're assigned 1 o'clock boarding time, because I know a lot are doing boarding times now.
Yeah.
I suggest you get to the port as early as possible, and because what's going to happen is suite guests and wedding parties are all going to go first and be embarked first, then special needs.
Right.
So it's important for you to be there, because if
Right.
you're not there, then you're just going to get a number and off
We're
you go.
always at the cruise port terminal about 10:30, the latest.
Sometimes they're not letting people in now. Sometimes.
Yeah.
But I think you're used to being a vocal advocate for your son or daughter. So just be loud and proud and say, I'm coming in.
Make way.
The next question comes from Jim Kitola. And he asked a question on the Latitudes members page. He said, the only thing holding me from going on a cruise is my wife likes to smoke. Any smokers out there with any advice?
So, big question. Are there designated smoking areas on cruise ships?
There are smoking areas on cruise ships. They're few and far between.
You've been there. You've seen it.
I've seen it. It's few and far between, though.
Yeah.
Used to be, back in the day, any place on the ship.
Yeah.
Right?
Ugh.
Anywhere. Atrium, outside, blah, 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 blah. Well, fire is the biggest fear and concern of any ship or vessel.
Right.
And I've heard a lot over the years of smokers complaining, oh, they're shutting us out, oh, they're putting us in the back of the bus, so to speak. But I don't want to hear it, because being an ex-smoker, I would gladly stand in the back of the ship, in the way back, in the corner where the wind isn't going to blow that cigarette butt or ash back in and catch it on fire.
And set my ship on fire and kill 3,000 people.
So I'm going to do a little Kevin pushes back.
That's right.
And say, shut the hell up. I'm sick of the complaining about it.
Kill the boo-hoo-hoo.
It is what it is.
Sorry, smokers.
It is what it is.
They have they have like in the casino.
In the casino, you can smoke. Some of the lines at some of the bars, you can smoke.
Right.
That's getting few and far between. But you will need to check with check in your Freestyle Daily for NCL, your Princess Patters, whatever daily magazine newsletter comes to your room. It will have the locations for smoking, and it's also on the safety channel on your televisions in your cabin.
So they want to make sure if you do smoke, you do it safely in the designated area that they provide. And if they catch you smoking.
Wow, that's what I was going to say, the next thing.
Yeah.
Because we have been on a ship, you probably don't remember it. It was right after the Victory, when we were on the Victory.
Oh, it was
the next
Conquest 2014.
Okay. So on the Conquest in 2014, someone was smoking in an area where they were not supposed to smoke in, and they were told not to smoke, and blah, blah, blah.
And they didn't listen?
And then the next time, they just were like, screw this, I don't care, and they were smoking outside and got caught again, and at the very next port, they were put off the ship. And sorry, broke the rules, out you go.
You're not going to endanger thousands of people because you just don't want to listen.
Yep.
You're getting off that ship. Bye-bye.
Yep.
You're going to lose your cruise, lose your money, no refunds. You're out. You're at port, and That's your problem how you're getting home.
Yep.
Read the fine print.
So my suggestion to your wife, Jim, is there is areas on the ship, or there are areas on the ship, and just you need to check the newsletter, and it'll tell you.
Right. Our final question comes from East New York, Brooklyn, 1955. Hey guys.
Brooklyn in the house.
Do you have to give your bags to the baggage handlers on the last night of the cruise, or can you carry them off yourselves? Well,
we've done both.
Yes, we have.
And I think in the beginning of our cruising, when we were getting back into it, we were kind of the affect of nobody's taking our bags and we're going to carry them off and it's going to be easier. Well, now we don't do that anymore.
No, take them.
Take them, please. I don't want to have to worry about them.
Yes.
And I don't know what your concern about that is, but the only persons that can not leave their baggage out the night before are the ones that are self-disembarking. Self-disembarking means you're taking those bags off yourself. It will be the first wave of people to disembark. So if you're not an early riser, I suggest you put them outside your cabin the night before, because I think the last cruise we were on, we came into port at like 6 in the morning, and 7:30, 7:45, those people were off the boat, and it's like we weren't. I don't think we were out of bed yet.
No.
But
We're still drinking our coffee.
I want you to think about if you're concerned that someone's going to take something or take your bags that shouldn't. There are cameras everywhere. There are tens of thousands of cameras on the ship. Every hallway, every corner, every inch of that ship is being videoed.
Right.
So don't worry about that.
Right.
And if it's concerning you, right, think about the 3,000 other people that are leaving their bags outside their room.
I know.
Why? Nobody wants your stuff.
Nobody wants yours.
Okay? I'm sure my clothes aren't going to fit you, or your clothes aren't going to be my style. If you've got valuables, chances are you're not packing them in your
You've got them with you in your little tote. Now, when we get on the ship the first day of our cruise, we give the porters outside of the terminal the big bag, the big 28-inch. And Kevin has his backpack. I have my little shoulder tote, and we have our carry-on. And that's how we get on the ship. But on the last day, when the cruise is over, the big 28-inch and the 21-inch carry-on go outside the door to be taken away. And they
take everything but what we consider valuable.
Right. And we only get off the ship at the end of the cruise with a backpack, shoulder tote, and a little expandable thing of souvenirs.
But in answering your question, you do not have to put it out the night before. But if you do not, be prepared, because you're getting up real early in the morning to get off that boat.
That's right.
And you're carrying your luggage with you.
That's right. Can't slow anyone down. Get off!
We want to remind everybody to hit that subscribe button if you aren't already a regular subscriber. And not to be a ding-a-ling, and click on that little bell.
Ding, 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 ding,
Why do they need that bell?
Because if you click on that bell, you'll get automatic notices when our videos go live.
We're also on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, and right here on YouTube.
That's right.
So become a regular follower, and you'll see special content that not everybody sees. But until next time,
and there's always going to be a next time,
we want to remind everybody to
travel safe
and cruise often.